Hey anime artists, do you need some help with basic fundamentals like structure, anatomy, lighting, perspective? Then today's video is going to be all for you. So I have some very brave volunteers that have submitted their artwork for some critique, help, and feedback. And if you're an anime artist too, then you're going to see what the next level can be and how you can unlock that potential. So let me show you how we can improve. This submission comes from artist Kai10. So thanks so much for submitting this beautiful image of Beast Gohan. Now Beast Gohan is from Dragon Ball Superhero, the new Dragon Ball movie, and I am a huge Dragon Ball fan, so I was pumped when I saw this. When I asked artist Kai specifically what they wanted help with, they said that the overall facial structure of the character, and they've been practicing faces and stuff lately, but they feel like the face still feels awkward in comparison to the body and they're unsure of what the problem is. You know, my overall impression of Beast Gohan so far in this one is I like it, but I kind of feel like he's just chilling. He's a little bit like maybe waiting for like tacos a little bit. He's waiting for something to happen as opposed to, I don't get the sense that he's like about to burst into action and like beat someone down. So that's what I want to fix in this one. Let me show you how. One of the first things I actually want to do is I want to tilt the head forward. Whenever you want to create a more aggressive or intimidating looking character, tilting them forward is definitely going to be the best thing to do. So you're going to angle it down like this. So that's the first thing I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to lasso that. I'm going to tilt it forward, and then I'm going to slightly redirect some of the eyes to produce a more intense gaze. All right, so here we have, I think to me, a much better version of what this looks like. So now he instantly looks more intense because he looks like he is about to attack. He looks more pissed off. Now, my next concern I'm looking at here is I noticed that he is incredibly jacked in everywhere except for his neck. And one of the main concerns that I see a lot of people forget to do when they're making really jacked characters is to jack up their neck. So basically you want to add more onto the lats, flanking the left and the right side like you can see right here. So now I'm going to go ahead and just bulk all of this up, bulk all of this out. And I mean, again, this would make sense because if his chest is that swole, if his arms are that big, then naturally his neck would probably not have skipped a day at the gym for that one too, right? Arriving at this conclusion, yes, definitely looking more beefy. That's good. We want him beefy like beefaroni. The next area I want to move into is the chest. This basically has truncated the entire pectoral muscles to look like his abs go up into like a 25 pack all the way up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand that down because the pecs should basically align to the armpits on any character. And even if they're big, maybe a little bit down further than that, but they need to at least go to the armpit area or below for them to look like they're a really big, strong person, just like Beast Gohan definitely is. So look at that now, boom, now he's got a much bigger, more swole chest. I also made it look like I had a little bit more dimension, like it's cutting into that fabric on the left-hand side. All right, so my next area that I'm gonna focus on are the shoulders. They just come down too far, and just as I kind of draw out the rest of this anatomy figure here, you're gonna see what I'm talking about, where his shoulders go down way too low. And then we cheat ourselves a little bit on how big we can make the biceps on this. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bulk those out. I'm gonna bring them up. I'm gonna give them a nice lift. And I'm also gonna supersize out more of his overall bicep, his tricep. I'm also gonna do a little bit more as well to the forearm because I want everything to look proportionate. I want him to look like a really big, hulking, awesome character like Beast Gohan is. Look at that. He is definitely a big juicy boy now, right? Okay, so we got one last thing that I want to do to this, and that is this. So when I look at any of the Super Saiyan transformations, or if you're gonna do a big, massive, powerful, like OP character, you want to add some effects onto them so that they're going to look so. I want Gohan to have that amazing OP sense about him, the fact that like nobody can beat this dude. And that's what I'm gonna bring right here as I add in all these quick little special effects and stuff. So here we go, y'all. Here's the original, and here's this lovely boy here too. Now they're both great, and Artist Kai did a great job, and I hope, Artist Kai, that you appreciate this. Let me know down below what y'all think about New Beast Gohan. And let's move on to the next one. So our next submission here comes from Cappy Coffee. So here we have this lovely image of this girl sitting on a beach, has this really great ambiance about it. I'm really excited to do this. I hope you are too. So Cappy Coffee says that they were going for a warm beach scenery with their favorite character sitting. I didn't know how much detail the background needed or how to give the idea that is detailed without going too much. I was playing around with colors that I wasn't too confident in. I was also wondering about the composition if it feels right. I definitely think I can help you out on this. So the first area that I want to address is the fact that Sir Mix-a-Lot would be very upset with this image because baby ain't got no back. And I mean that literally. So if I turn on these anatomy lines, you're gonna see exactly what I'm saying here. Basically, whenever you sit, you never sit totally erect. It's very uncomfortable. Try it out. That's the first thing I want to do on here is, add in the rest of her back that was negated. So as I'm doing this, now what I'm doing is I'm just simply following along some of my structural lines that I've made here. And again, I want to go ahead and just give her a subtle curve. I don't want to make her look like Quasimodo or anything like that, but I want to go ahead and subtly do that. I'm also going to adjust some of the folds on here to complement this as well. And I'm also going to stick with the general lighting because I really like this lighting effect on here. It's nice. So now you can see here, I think that this girl looks like she's actually sitting down. She's leaned over a little bit more and she looks more comfortable. Now, y'all, are we not going to address the elephant in the room? And by that, I mean the lack of hand over here. Like, why does she just have this little stubby thing right over here with little dangly piece of cloth? Like this, I can't imagine this would naturally happen. This kind of gives me like a pirate feel. So boom, right there. All right, all set with this one, right? Let's just move on from here, huh? Look at those little tiny baby hands. Like those are so small. The hand is proportionately the size of your entire facial plane. So it should be about that big. Let's fix that. For this little tiny baby hand, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna stretch it out, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. I'm also gonna add in to make sure that it does have enough fingers on here. There should be only 4, and I wouldn't really see the thumb because of the perspective. And then on the other one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and straight up paint right over what's currently there. I'm gonna take away a little bit more of the background. I wanna be able to show how the hand comes out of that sleeve. And I decided to make her look like she's just kind of subtly or shyly waving at somebody because that's kind of like the overall scene. Maybe I'm thinking that maybe she just cried or she's waiting for a love interest or something like that. So maybe she's looking a little bit shy and I think that'd be cute. Okay, so there we go. Now we have much better looking hands. They're proportionate, they're accurate on here too. Let's move on to the next thing. So backgrounds are a big concern that I see always people asking about. How do you make backgrounds better? I don't know how to do backgrounds. So first and foremost, I want to give you a really great resource on this, friend, where if you're not really sure how to draw landscapes, how to draw backgrounds, you're not alone. I made 2 really fantastic resources, boom, right here and here. And I'm going to link those down below. I actually go through and I show you step by step how to draw every single type of landscape element out there. So number 1 is that I want to add more details in an overall more complete sense to this background here. And I'm going to do that actually through photo bashing. And then number 2 is I want to bring more focus and emphasis onto the character. So for all these images, I grabbed them all from Unsplash, so it's fair use on this. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a whole bunch of pictures and I want to texture up things like the sky. I want to texture up the water. I want to add a little bit more to that background because I think that could be a little bit more interesting, could have a little bit more sense of depth and perspective. And then I also want to go ahead and I want to add a little bit more to that beach that's happening directly behind her as well. Now for all of these, all I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment every single time I slap in a photo here with the blending mode. I'm going to erase out the parts that I don't need just using a big soft brush here with 100% opacity on it. So now I've arrived at this version. And now there's a big issue at play here, which is that there's too much detail and texture in the background versus the character. So immediately what that does is it pulls me to look at the background before I look at the character. And I know that Cappy here does not want you to do that. They want you to look at the character. So here's a really great technique that you can use, and I use a lot of my own artwork by following the rules of cinematography. And basically, I'm going to blur out a lot so that we focus on just the character. So to do this, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to duplicate this layer so that I don't ruin it just in case, and I generally do that a lot. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add a Gaussian blur effect, and I'm gonna do it a little bit subtle. I don't wanna go too crazy with it. But once I go ahead and I do that, then I'm gonna add a layer mask onto it, and I'm gonna erase out around the character. And what that does is just allows me to edit. I can bring some back, I can take away some more until I get a really good result. I want some fuzzy edges, but I don't want too many of them either. I want the character to be the focal point of this. So now you can see I've done that, and I'm just gonna add some last minute effects onto here. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some birds in the background. I wanna bring out the green in her eyes a little bit. So Cappy, definitely let me know what you think about this one. So here's the original image again, and boom, here's our new version right there. Let me know what y'all think about this. And Cappy, I hope this helped you so much. Hey, if you're getting really great value out of this, friends, let me just let you know that I do have a private one-on-one mentorship. That's a one-on-one coaching system where I work with you to get your art to the next level, to help you pursue your industry careers, your professional goals, your art goals, and everything in between. I've been working with some really amazing clients, and I do have some spots available. If you're really serious and you're ready to commit to your artwork, I'm gonna go ahead and leave a link down below for my Google form for you to fill out so that I can reach out to you. So if you're ready to take control of your art life and level it up, let me know and let's work together. So our next image comes from True Miriam that submitted this really cool kind of manga page-ish style illustration. I like this one a lot. It definitely has some good energy about it. True Miriam tells me that they're trying to portray the intensity of a pre-combat situation, which I think definitely comes through nicely. And specifically, they said they want to know how they can improve the anatomy, pose, and expression of the character. I got you on that. Let's jump into that. I think that your character looks a little bit too curious and a little less ominous, and I want to bring out that murderous intent into her. So here's one simple thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjust the head movement. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna select the head, I'm gonna turn it around so that it's more angled looking down. Similar to when we did Gohan, again, I want the sense that she is contracting and she's about to rip into somebody or something, defend herself, take down somebody, and that would be cool. The next thing I'm gonna do too, aside from just cleaning up the edges on this, is I wanna add a little bit more intensity to her face. And generally when you look down, if there's a top light, then there's gonna be a lot of dark shading and shadows that are gonna happen in the middle of the face, especially where the hair meets the forehead. And I'm gonna add some more intense shadows around the eyes because that generally, especially in anime and in manga, it gives that really nice menacing look about the face. All right, so there we go. I like this expression a lot more. This definitely works, I think, a lot better. I get a lot more murderous intent from this. Now moving on to the midsection here, I like this general pose. A couple little things that are gonna happen here is that first off, there should be some more folds happening, especially where she's hunched over. It would create some pretty intense folds in her midsection. I'm also gonna address the fact that, as you can see here, we kind of neglected some of the back muscles. Like when you raise an arm, your back muscle also has to go with it. So I wanna include that into it as well as some other areas I'm gonna show you right here. Now, the first thing, again, I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just quickly draw out some basic simple shapes here. And this is gonna be something that you're gonna be more familiar with and comfortable with the more that you do it. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna produce some more intense folds down there on the midsection. I'm also gonna add some as well on the back. I'm gonna fix up that back, a little bit more mass right there so that we have that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to also add some underneath the head. Again, I wanna get the sense that there's a top light happening here, so we're gonna see some happen onto the collarbone area. I also noticed at this point that I think the chest looks too flat. I noticed in your original sketch, judging by the size of her chest, it doesn't really have any volume to it. So that's one thing I wanna fix. Now the last area I wanna hit is gonna be the leg area. So again, I like this overall a lot. I think it works really, really well. The only thing that I'm seeing here are a few issues here. So first off, when I look at the leg that's down and contracted, it doesn't really have the full sense that that is a rounded form. So let me fix a few anatomical things that I'm seeing here and some minor perspective issues too. So that entire thigh that is foreshortened there, that definitely needs to have a more rounded shape, and I like to see a little bit more of the knee since the fabric is very contracted on it. Also, because she's crouching down, you're gonna see a little bit of her butt underneath her groin area. And then finally too, when I look at her feet, right, the left foot, it's just flat. Instead, what should happen is it should curve because it's angling forward. And then also that back foot should be coming up a little bit more too because of the overall perspective of the scene. Okay, so there we go. Overall, this was not a bad picture at all to start with. Great bones. Here we go. Here's the original image and boom, here's the new image. True Miriam, I really hope that you appreciate that. I hope that this helps you out big time. And if it did, let me know down below. And if you want to see more stuff like this, here is the next part of this.